Give it a minute.
Give it a minute. Yes, give it a minute.
I'm a carbonated cocktail whore, honestly. We have a lot on the menu. I love bubbly cocktails, refreshing things like...
He had a one-page, I'm not even kidding, like filled with the instructions of how to make a perfect vodka martini that shake for exactly 4 minutes and 55 seconds.
She hit the crap.
And he actually had a timer ready.
But you already beat me once in this competition for the qualifiers, and I got on the alternate for this.
So you are competing.
Yes.
Oh my, let's
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
cheers.
Cheers, bud.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Oh, we are.
So so Joe Arakawa, the president of the USBG, and you're still bartending out of Anima, correct?
Yeah, so I run beverage for the entire group. So I'm their like corporate beverage director is my kind of official title, whatever they want to call me.
And if someone wants to see you behind the stick, they go to Anima.
Yeah, just usually,
Nice.
well, not anymore. As we're transitioning to opening 2 more restaurants, I'm less and less behind the bar and more floor managing and getting ready for those openings. So,
Yeah.
but every now and then, I get back there and make a drink by request.
Yeah. I bet you that happens a lot.
Yeah, just a little bit. I try not to. I want my bartenders to be the stars of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're gonna make us a cocktail. We're making a Southside, but this is your favorite way to make it. And tell me about the differences and what is its traditional Southside if you were to order it at a craft cocktail bar, and then how did you change it?
Yeah, so traditional Southside's usually gin, lemon, mint, a little simple syrup or rich stem, and then pinch of salt if you're like that, which I am. But for me, this cocktail was introduced to me back in Hawaii by there's a very industry bar out there called Pint and Jigger, and I just asked him, I was like, I just want something crushable that'll really get my night going, and my friend Tanner, who I think still works there, just introduced me as like, it's Cynar Southside, and I was like, we did something similar to a bar I worked at, and I was like, we would do essentially a Cynar daiquiri, and I was just like, holy shit, the mint, the lemon, I was like, this is amazing. This is my favorite way to start and end a night now. So a lot of times when I go out, if I see they have a bottle of Cynar and they're a half decent bar, I'll be like, hey, can I get a Southside? And they'll be like, all right, weirdo, like, or they'll try to split base, and I'm like, no, all Cynar. Oops. And I haven't even been drinking yet, so.
Let's go. I mean, you are stuck in this small pocket of space, So
Yeah, I'm a big boy, but
getting talented at this little area is its own challenge.
yeah, for sure. But we'll bang this one out real quick so we can get the night going, and I won't use too much mint or Jen will kill me. So
So Jen, what were you gonna use the mint for that he's using right now? You have something to do with it tomorrow as well.
Yes, I'm competing in the world's best Mai Tai competition on Monday, and I forgot to buy some mints for my mint oil, and I will not speak anymore. Surprise.
Yeah. Now
Actually competing with him.
on the bright side, you're gonna be when people are seeing this will be after the competition. So
Yeah.
but I can't know because I'm in it with you. So yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
But you already beat me once in this competition for the qualifiers, and I got on the alternate for this.
So you are competing.
Yes.
Oh my, let's
Yeah. But when they put me up next to her every time, I'm like,
It's okay. Every competition, it's always a new we're always like, I'm creating a brand new cocktail, so it's gonna be completely different from what I made before. So I'm not even sure if it's gonna work. And do my
yeah.
best.
Your
I'll do my-
preparation, she's not sure.
she's not sure.
We also started before the podcast was rolling. We started with a Birria consomme chaser for our Cristalino shot. That the Birria was made for an event that she did yesterday. So it's just like get out of town. Preparation is her middle name.
Actually, hey, that's not always true. But
Big shit over.
we're both pretty kind of bad about it sometimes, but we do a lot of events together.
Real
So
quick, Joe.
every now and then, we're both just like, I didn't do this yet.
Well, and that's another part of when you're talented and you have a good chemistry with someone, which you two obviously do. It's easy to riff off of each other and have each other's backs.
Absolutely.
And while he's making the Southside, I'd love to maybe Jen, you could tell us how did Spirit and Soul, which is elaborate. What is Spirit and Soul, and what are you two doing?
So to introduce ourselves, we are a Korean. Do I look at the camera?
So if you're
Yeah.
we're talking, but you can always address the guest looking directly into the camera.
Oh,
So if you're talking to the guest, feel free to look right at.
okay. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Spirit and Soul, we are a Korean-inspired cocktail pop-up. We've been very fortunate. Actually, Joe's gonna shake real quick, so I'll Pause for a second.
It's a highlight.
Yes.
Be sure.
For sure.
And I'll say this: there's a couple bartenders that really know how to bring showmanship and craft, and I've even seen Jennifer do blindfolded bartending, which was quite an experience. And she won that one as well, I'm pretty sure.
No.
No,
We got second place round.
darn it! Oh, you won in my heart because it was a very entertaining, and it was very accurate.
Yeah, that was a very surprise moment for me. I've never done that before. That was fun though.
So that's to me what they should be. Competitions. Obviously, you have the ones like that you guys have done very well in. I think he won Liquor 43 once.
Yeah, did.
And you has recently won a global.
Yes, for Amar Montenegro. Yeah.
So it's like that on that global stage,
Mhm.
right? There's that one. Necessarily, it's all about the business.
Right.
But then when you're on the local stage, I feel it's very important to make it fun.
Oh, absolutely.
And
It's different.
something
Very
that changed it up. So watching you do the blindfolded, I was like, oh man, I wish I could be doing that competition because it's not so much about winning. It's like that was an experience. I never thought I'd blindfold bartend at a venue, with a pop-up bar,
Right.
and crushed it.
It's taking away one of your senses and kind of being in that uncomfortable situation and see if you can still make those cocktails. Because we make cocktails, thousands of cocktails per week, and it's almost automatic, almost robotic, where we know what to do. But like taking away that one sense, it kind of blows my mind, and I'm just like, I didn't know what to do. It was just like a brand new born baby. I'm like, oh my god, what do I do?
All right.
Yes.
I forgot to put a dehydrated lime wheel up there.
Garnish.
That's right.
You want one?
Right.
Let's run for it.
Hey, we that was that one of the ones you brought me?
I think so. You wanna go?
It's right here. Fine, we'll wait.
It almost looks like an espresso martini. We can use it. Yeah, we can use that. Oh, you have it.
Yeah, Kyler for the win.
But also,
Sponsored by no.
so you work with this dehydrated brand, which we're using something a little different right now. But
Yeah.
Jen was nice enough to bring me a bunch of little gifts from a couple of the brands that we'd like to talk about.
So yeah, this is the essential oh my god, I can't even say it. So this is the essential mixologist natural lemon dehydrated wheel, and they actually source all the fresh fruits from Guatemala, and it's just all organic. They try to pick like the most the most pretty sliced wheel, and then they dehydrate it for a long time. Or oh my god, that tequila's hitting me, by the way. I just had a brain fart. So yeah, it's based out of Guatemala, all fresh, the most premium selections of the fruit slices, and then they dehydrate it, and then ship it to the States.
I work a lot with Dress to Drink, which just locally I'm familiar with. But I'm curious, like, so is this out of where is this out of?
It's out of Guatemala. It's farm directed. So
Oh, okay, okay, that's what you're saying.
yeah, they source it directly from the farm and then dehydrate it there.
Sorry. Adjusting. So now,
Sure, taste it.
to reiterate, the Joe's favorite version of a Southside, which is 2 ounces of Cynar,
Preferably 70 if you got it, which you do, which is
Yup.
amazing.
ounce of lemon juice, and a half ounce of rich Demerara, which is a 2-to-1. And so I like this Demerara and I just get it on Amazon a lot. So if you're looking for a Demerara, I like it to actually be sourced, because otherwise, a lot of people call it turbinado sugar or brown sugar, and they're like, oh, that's Demerara. I'm like, I understand what you're saying, and it has more character than a simple syrup, but
It's not
when
the same.
when I want an old fashioned with Demerara and it says Demerara, it should have something that actually is Demerara.
Nah, if you're using like regular Cynar or Cynar, the 70 proof, not 70 proof, what is the regular Cynar? 17%, like 34, then I would use only like a 1/4 ounce, just because you don't have the alcohol to kind of stand up to it. And stuff.
Exactly. So the richness of your base spirit, right?
Yeah.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Cheers, Kyler.
Or in Korean, you say, for more formal way to say cheers is konbae. And if you were just amongst friends, really casual, like no bosses in the room, you just say chen.
Chen.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about the chin part.
Yeah.
Chin.
Well, that's fantastic. And I love a savory, like, flavor.
Yeah, I think it's that good balance of like herbaceous, savory, sweet, sour. To me, that's like the perfect aperitif pre, going out, whatever you're gonna do, really kickstart the taste bud. So, and I could crush it in like 2 sips because it's that.
Well, me and you are probably similar in that way. It's like if I have a cocktail in my hand, I'm gonna drink it pretty fast. If I have water in my hand, I'm gonna drink it fast. So I always have something with me.
Beer, old fashioned, it all goes down almost at the same rate, and sometimes it's a little scary. So
That's when the flavors don't affect you as much anymore. It's like some people when people are doing like even the crazy stuff like Malort, and you're like, oh, I see why they're wincing, but it doesn't make me wince anymore.
no, that does. That's bullshit. Fernet sucks.
Okay. So I wanna go more into Spirit and Soul because I've missed 2 of the ones in Vegas that I've really been dying to go to. I was coming back from the Keep Memory Alive rodeo when I was trying to make it in time. And I was like, man, if I get there 30 minutes before it closes, I'm gonna miss the whole point, right?
It's okay. We'll have more for sure.
Absolutely. It looks like you're ramping up.
We've been very fortunate. It's only been almost a year now since September.
It'll make a year.
Yeah, and I think this was our 8th event.
Yeah.
We did a dinner series in between, so we called it episode 7. But this was our 8th event, and it was it was a great turnout. Like all of the industry people came to support, and it was just nice seeing everyone like enjoying our cocktails and giving us like nice feedback, and it's been great. So we just try to keep improvising, and we're trying to improve and grow together, and try different cocktails to see what works and what doesn't, and kind of follow the trend as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I love it. It's always great. You have a high production value, and like when I only get to see it like through Instagram and all that, but I'm just like, man, that is well done, And that's the thing is a lot of people can do pop-ups and events, but how it's executed and what it looks like, because a lot of things aren't as photographic, and you might have a delicious cocktail, but then you see it on camera and you're like, what is that, So you guys are nailing every spot on that, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we definitely have a great staff. We have a great media team. So we have the videographer Angelo Cabanas and photographers Kwang and Jesus, who actually makes this whole thing
I mean, look
what's
the
the
way.
word?
So yeah, it's just there.
Just wholesome, perfect.
It's I think what I'm more blown away from by this whole process that we started is like I always had the idea for Spirit and Soul as like a brick and mortar, and then Jen always wanted to do pop-ups, so we kind of put that together. And then me being a little newer to Vegas, Jen definitely sourced a lot more of that support that we initially got. And she's always reining me in because I'm always very concerned, like, oh, the event's not going to do well. We're not going to get the support we need. And she's like, we're going to be fine. We can charge this much. We can do this. Like, and she's a little more confident in that sense. That's where I definitely like lack that. So it's good. It's a good balance. Whereas I'm definitely the more grounded realist, military background, all that kind of stuff. So every time that we do an event, I just get blown away by the support that we get, because a lot of these guys are volunteering their time for free for us. They're like, we just want to see you guys crush it. And I'm like, that's such a beautiful thing. And like, I want to see more of that outside of just our pop-ups and like this community in general. And I think that's what COVID kind of broke up for a lot of different communities, not just hospitality, but in general. Like there's not that willingness to collaborate, and and the easiest thing you can do is donate time. You don't got $20 in your pocket, but you can donate time. Like shit, that means more than anything.
It's more valuable than
It's the same. It's the same with your podcast, right? Or any social media people do. It doesn't cost you anything to go and like, share, repost, comment. And so people, but people feel like because they can't spend $50, $80, whatever, that they're not supporting. I'm like, no, there's a million ways you can support.
That brings me up. Please do that. Like, comment again, because that's the one thing. These social medias now, which for a good reason, they're rewarding engagement more so than followers. A person with 1 million followers doesn't necessarily mean they're going to have as many views unless it's good content. And when people are saying like, and when people comment, then YouTube knows, oh, they want more of this. So that'd be very helpful. Please, and please go check out Spirit and Soul and like those and follow them, because it's really awesome. And it's spirit.n.soul, SEOUL, on Instagram. And are you on YouTube yet?
Not for Spirit and Soul. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so really cool. I want to also speak about, it's kind of funny that you said, she helped you source like local, following or whatever, but you're the president of the USBG. And so I feel like you've got a little bit of a background.
No, for sure. It was kind of, I fell into the role, when I got out here. I wanted to be more involved. I wanted to get more integrated into the community. And coming from Hawaii, I've only been in Vegas. This is year 4 going on year 5. I think my math. Yeah, I think so. And when I moved out here with my, now ex-fiance, who shout out Christy, like love her to death. We split up. But we're on good terms as all love. But she's the head sommelier at Delilah. So a lot of my friends when I came out here were her friends, her som friends, who were lovely people. But I was trying to find my way, and thankfully I got to work with Chris Levitt and a lot of these guys, and they introduced me to that community. And so I was like, I'd love to get involved with the USBG and kind of do some more work, give back. And the former president, vice president, Nova and Lisa had been doing it so long they were just burnt out. They're like, hey, we're done after this year. And I was like, I get it. So I was like, screw it, I'll step up. And so that's kind of how I fell into that role. And it's been great. And so a lot of people do know me. I feel like this follows me my whole. It's kind of like in middle school. Like everyone knew who I was, but I wasn't necessarily popular. They're just like, oh yeah, I know Joe.
They're like,
But-
yeah, that wins a bunch.
Yeah, that
right?
that dude. But it's just
I
so
mean, I've been here about 10 years now, since 2015, and I mean, I've been bartending at Cosmopolitan for that long, and I think because of all the industry, I'm an introvert, by the way, so I don't really like to go out per se, but I like to connect with people on a very like personal level, genuine level, and this is including all my regulars or whoever I meet at work, and I think that's why I have a lot of more of those followings that would come to support. And I think that's like because Joe's brand new to Vegas, essentially. I feel like the first 5 years I was here, I had like 0 friends. And it was just kind of hard because I feel like it's Vegas is definitely a different crowd. Once you get to know someone, you create this like very strong, tight, loyal bond. And it takes a while for that to happen. And I've been very fortunate and grateful to actually meet so many great people here. And the community here is actually really strong and very loyal and very supportive. And we want to keep, doing what we do.
Yeah. I think it's the weird balance of like Jen's an extroverted introvert. Like she knows how to turn it on. You know what I mean?
Job
Yeah, job. But like, and when you have to meet people and when you're doing business, like, whereas I'm an introverted extrovert, like naturally I want to be out and doing that stuff, but I get so burnt out and like I do enjoy my alone time. So like, but as like the president, I feel more pressured to go out and support events because I'm like I gotta show. Yeah, and it's not that I have to, but it's like it's not a good look if I don't, So I think we've created that good balance, and like through Jen, I'm able to meet people and connect with them, and I know that if she genuinely likes these people, that they're probably good people, you know what I mean? And so it's easier for me to kind of let them into my circle and kind of support them in the same way.
Yeah. Well, and that you said something a little bit earlier that I wanted to circle back to. Um, Chris Levitt and he just left town, being a great guy that he is, he's going to help his mother out. And if you can support that in any way, please do. And his Instagram handle is not just a bartender. And I want to say I met you both, or I met you and I knew of Chris and I came into Anima and then I had an amazing experience with you. And I was like, this guy, what is this? Who is this guy? And it was just automatically, you could tell and we were talking about this earlier, that there's a level of skill that you can get to that you end up almost like leaning into it too much and it can come off as pretentious and stuff. And you never have been that guy. And even your Instagram handle is like that guy, Joe. And, and it's just, it's funny to me because that really, it's walking a fine line of, hey, I know exactly what I'm doing here, but I'm not going to make you feel condescended or I'm not going to make you feel dumb at all. And you do that in spades. And I love that. And I've never actually sat at a non-cocktail event in front of her bar. So I am dying. So you're still at Cosmo.
I'm still at Cosmo.
So people want to come see you. Where do they go?
They come to LPM, which stands for Le Petit Maison. It's a Southern French Mediterranean cuisine. And we're on the 3rd floor next to STK. For those. I feel like a lot of people are kind of intimidated because they're like, what is LPM? So, I mean, our business was kind of slow in the beginning. We just opened like just only a year ago. So we're getting more traffic. And a lot of my regulars or, fellow competitors, all the industry people would travel and then find me there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. And I definitely need to come in and check you out there.
Absolutely.
And, to emphasize what you were saying earlier about how this community can be. And yeah, at the first couple of years when you're getting into it, because a lot of people that come and they leave, right? So there's a little bit of that, ooh, do I commit to investing in this person? Do I make sure that they know I'm following them and that I like, because you have followers that care about what you're doing and they go, she puts out a great product or he puts out a great product and I want to go and support whatever they're doing. But it takes a couple years to get that reputation.
It does, yeah.
But in this town, I'll say, there's different sects of bartending, and if you're in craft and you care about it, I'll say this: it is not the most financially lucrative bartending in town. It's one of those things where the more intricate the cocktails are, the less money you actually make in the end of the day. But the factor is that a lot of us we all know that about each other, and we go, damn, you chose, like, you could be anywhere you want, and you chose to take craft seriously and think of not just the let's say decade that you might be working at a bar, and if you're lucky, most places are like 2-3 years for the average bartender in this town, but you could go into one of those things that you hear of that, oh, $600 every night, working at a club pumping out vodka sodas, but then you wouldn't enjoy what you do so much. And that's why we have these little groups of bartenders in town, like all the flair people. They all hang out, they all know each other, and they know when they're like, there was a flair competition that just came up and I only heard of it as it was going on. They're like, oh, there's a flair thing going on tonight. I'm like, oh, none of us told me about that. But when there's a craft experience going on, or there's something cool like Spirit and Soul popping up, you like, we all are like, dude, if I'm gonna go to anything, I need to go to those. So I love that about Vegas, that we're like we're a small town in so many ways, and it's even getting a little more tight knit now that in general Vegas's tourism is down, gambling is down, drinking is down. So that comes with its own level of, we have to innovate. We have to make stuff that's, how do we keep everyone coming to the bar? And now I have to consider, okay, well, 30% less 30% less of this new generation is drinking. I know they're young too, but 21, 23, 24, those are like years that are your heaviest drinking as a person. So
for us, at least, for our generation.
Exactly. Yeah. And good on them. But so we have to learn how to innovate. So finding things that are sessionable, like you're going to do a highball, and
it's actually a low ABV highball too. So
exactly,
it's the trend of that.
and that's perfect. And that's kind of what you have to do, is find out ways that people are like, oh, I want to be responsible. I want to have 3 drinks tonight, but I can't get wrecked, or I need to drive in 4 hours. So how am I going to do that? And thinking of your guests' evening on that scale will translate into a successful program. Though, like you said, even LPM, which I'm sure is incredible, takes some time to get the locomotion moving, right? So
you're very on point, though. that was everything that you said. It was completely, I agree on. Yeah, you're right. I mean, oh man, it's been rough. I mean, I worked at the Chandelier Bar for the longest time. It was high volume and we made a lot of money. And I mean, the reason why I switched to LPM, well, I'll be honest, I actually got Deckered into LPM, but I ended up loving
Deckered?
it. Deckered. So it's like a union policy rule where you get kicked out of your bar and you get Deckered into the lowest seniority bar. Whoever had the lowest seniority bar, you have to go kick him out and he gets onto the on-call, or he or she gets onto the on-call board, and then I get forced into the shift. But I ended up loving LPM just because they are 50 best bars, number, I believe, 79 in the world, based out of Dubai, and it is a franchise, so it's global. I mean, the bar program is very consistent. It's very advanced. We use a lot of why are you laughing?
I only laugh because I gave you guys shit for your tomatini, because I was like, so they have this drink there, just not to interrupt, just
Okay, interrupt me.
but they have this drink and it's very famous. It's a cool drink. It's not my kind of drink. I'm not a big Bloody Mary guy. I'm not a big, like, I think tomato water is a little played out and stuff, but they do this drink where they muddle like cherry tomatoes, white balsamic, black pepper, but they don't make like a syrup. They don't make a tomato water. They don't. So it can be very inconsistent. And so that's why, and they're amazing. Their bar program, like she said, in Dubai and these places are sick. But to me, it's just funny that their like signature drink, you'll see them with the giant pepper mill cracking, like that's a famous YouTube video where you see them cracking pepper over it. And I'm just like, I was like, you just muddle a random, like they could be different sizes, they could be different ripeness, they could be this. And that drives me as like the operational person who like will measure bricks levels and stuff and be like, this is insane. What do you mean you don't measure any of this? You're just like, YOLO, dude. bar spoon of white balsamic. Let's go.
I mean, I get that too, because where I cut my teeth was a place they're like, yeah, you take a deli cup of this and you take a deli cup of that and you put them together and that's your simple syrup. And you're like, I mean, that will work. But, you know, when you get to a point where you're like, all right, how many grams is it? And how many grams is it? But when it depends on the program.
But that's like the only drink there. That's the only one I left. But everything else is
Measure love and hate relationship with that cocktail. I absolutely love drinking it. Oh, to make it, there's in total 5 tomatoes that I have to completely muddle just to get all those juices out of the tomatoes. So I mean, oh my gosh.
Well, and it's famous. It's a famous cocktail. So you get a 10 top coming and they're like 10 tomatinis. You're like, fuck. And I've sat at her bar there, and the food there is actually like they do a good job there with the food. So
Quality's crazy.
quality's great. But I've seen her in that well in the weeds, just like
I'm a teeny.
Tell them about the time where you were waiting for my attention. I was there. I didn't even notice. Noticed that she was at the bar.
Me and our videographer Angelo, we had worked an F1 event because Mo at Hennessy, has hired me every year, which I'm very grateful for. And they so we got done early for this one night, and we were like, we were hungry. Let's get dinner. So I took Angelo to LPM. We're like, let's go visit Jen. And we literally sat there, I think, for like 20, because she was in the service wall, which is kind of like in the middle of this U-shaped bar. And so she could see us if she looked over, but she's so engaged in her well. And I'm just staring at her, and I didn't want to say anything. I'm just like, no. And the bartender was like, you want me to get her? I was like, no. I'm just going to stare and see how long it takes. It was like 20 minutes. And she was like, how long have you been here? I was just like, it's been a minute. It's fine. Yeah.
Them tomatinis.
That's one of those things where you hope to have the inside track on the manager that can pull up camera. You're like, can you please just, is this guy staring at you, Sheriff, so long? When you have an admirer, and it's just
the creepy, the girl with the boyfriend that sits at the bar and just watches her flirt with guests. You're like,
I probably didn't have noticed him for like an hour.
Yeah.
If I didn't have to get a beer, by the way.
yeah, she had to come in at my end of the bar, and she's like, oh, you guys are.
well, Jen, this is a perfect opportunity since we are sans drink.
Let's make it.
If you want to come over here, and Kyle's gonna make sure that the audio's right for you. Yeah. So,
Yes.
with this ice that you are using,
Yeah.
Kuramoto ice.
Yes. So this is actually from the mountains of Kanazawa, Japan. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. But it's special because the water of the mountain water is actually frozen over 72 hours. So just to settle all the impurities out. So there's 0 impurities. It's the finest of the finest water, and then they slowly freeze it to make this incredible premium ice.
Wow.
It's Kuramoto ice. Is it in there?
They supported our last pop-up. We did a shave ice thing with them. They have this thing called the kakigori, which is like Japanese shave ice, super fine quality. Yeah, they're great. They're an amazing brand.
So how do you do that? Like, so shaved ice. I mean, you can't, like, how is that done in advance? Because it would melt so fast.
So they bring blocks, and then they have a machine that they have that shaves the ice down. So they're using their super high quality ice that they make, and then this machine that shaves it down, so the texture is very soft. Like growing up in Hawaii, we have a lot of shave ice, so a lot of the judgment is like how the texture is. If it's super icy and you're like chewing on it, it's not very good. Versus if it's like almost soft like snow.
Wow.
We have a similar dessert in Korea called bingsu, which is very popular.
You pull that out. There's ice picks. Pull the drawer.
Oh, there are ice. What a bar.
Dude, I have to say, RC Willie, if I have a sponsor, it's RC Willie. They just haven't paid me yet because every piece of furniture in this house is it might be stuck on the cord. Hold on.
Oh, is it?
No, it's okay. These are all troubleshoots that I've had to deal with. And through TV magic, we're back.
All right. So
No time has passed whatsoever.
I'm gonna go with her.
Jen's chipping away at her Kuramoto ice. Jen, just pop it.
Just pop it. Okay, I got it.
That's when you pop it.
Great. We got it.
Amazing.
Gonna go ahead and ice these first.
That's what happens. Large format ice, you got to know how to pivot. You got to know how to work with it.
You want me to talk about the brand while you do this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So everyone, Sakura.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, no, I meant the Woody Soul, not the...
Oh, Woody Soul.
We already talked about Kuramoto ice. Kuramoto, we love you.
Yeah, you crushed Kuramoto.
So the brands in front of you, Soul Knight, the plum liqueur, the Chungju, and Jen and I will talk a little bit more about what these are. But this is a brand from a company, or is imported from a company called Woody Soul. or Uri Seoul if you want to be very pronouncing it properly. So there's one of I believe it's two or one of three. I think it's two Korean master sommeliers. And
He was, I believe he was the first. Kim Kyung-moon
yeah,
was the first.
and so he was one of the first Korean master sommeliers. I think there's only two or three in the world. So he's been very supportive. He has an import company in New York, worked at a lot of places. And so he started importing Korean products. Actually, here in Vegas, we have Douglas Kim, who's another one. He's the wine director for all of MGM. So he's another Korean master som. So he imports these products, his company with Uri Seoul. So you have Seoul Night, which is a soju. And so I think a big part of Spirit and Soul that we've talked about and us wanting to do is taking away the stigma of like having Korean drinking just be associated with like sugary soju and like all you do is drink it when you go to karaoke bars. And so this is actually like on its own a very elegant product. Nothing like the soju you've had. We'll definitely try some on its own. But it's also soju is a distillate. So you have like soju, Soju, which is the American spelling. That's a Korean product, and then you have shochu, which is a Japanese distillate as well. So instead of sake, which is brewed, sake is another Japanese product. Shochu is spelled Shochu, and so they can basically ferment and distill that from just about anything. There is a list, but it's like 55 different things, and then sake is brewed almost like wine or beer, and that's specifically from rice. But soju, for the most part, you have a sugar source, typically rice or cane or some kind of a grain. And then you also have on the far left side something called cheongju. Cheongju, if you've ever been to a Korean restaurant and you've seen them drinking this like milky looking thing that's a little carbonated, it's called makgeolli. Makgeolli is a like a fermented, almost like a rice beer type deal. So it's kind of creamy, a little bubbly, effervescent. Cheongju is like a refined version of that, where it's clarified out, and then the alcohol is going to be a little higher. So that makes that different. And then the middle is more like a plum liqueur that they make, which Jen brought you guys a sample of that plum juice that
Yes,
I still from.
if you'd like to try a little bit, actually, here, open this real quick. So what makes Seoul Night's soju special is usually soju's made from whole grains or sweet potato, something like cheap. Just because I feel like soju is like a daily.
Yeah, that's what's available.
Yeah, it's part of the culture. Yeah,
Delicious.
delicious.
Nice.
We make them into shrubs. We make them into what else was like a shrub? Syrup. Like it's called Mercer, which means Korean yellow green plum, and we make it into all different types of my God, my brain's out.
All kinds of stuff. I mean, juices, drinks, distillates, whatever. Like
Yes. So, so I was going back to what makes Seoul Night soju special is they actually ferment and distill the Mercer, the Korean green plum, which I am so sorry.
Don't be. This is first of all, this is all off the cut. This is all off the scenario. You're doing fantastic. Yeah.
Chinar's hitting me.
it's that basically like when you try this versus like some of the more common brands like chamisu, chamchoram, things you'll see in like karaoke bars that are cheaper. There's no flavor adding here. This is all coming from that plum, and so this actually has like a really nice tropical quality to it. When you drink it, it drinks very clean.
It has a nice floral, like fruity essence of
all those like esters you're getting from that distillation process just from this plum and how it's treating the unique like varietal it is what makes it so different.
Thank you.
But yeah, we'll definitely like try that on its own because I think it's sick. When we did the shots, I was kind of dreading our last pop up because it's a sponsor. I'm like, man, I really don't want to do soju shots right now. And then I tasted it and I was like, holy shit, like that's actually really freaking good. And it changes that perception of what soju can be, for people, and that it can be taken as a serious ingredient, not just like a sake tini or a soju, lychee martini or something that you're going to find. So cheongju is a little more funky when you guys try that. That honestly is kind of wild to me what refining makgeolli does, because makgeolli is kind of like I said, like sweet, almost creamy. It's like a milky color, but then it's also effervescent. But if you go to like a lot of Korean restaurants, they'll drink I remember working in a restaurant with my mom because my mom's cooked her whole life, and a lot of these tables they wouldn't even get water. They're like, give me a cup of ice and a bottle of soju, and they'll just drink that because hot soup and soju, or they'll get the makgeolli because it's like carbonated and light and it's low ABV, and they'll crush that.
What are we doing here?
So, creating a highball, which highball basically originates back from the 19th centuries. It used to mean like from the United States, high meaning tall glass, and then ball meaning a glass of whiskey. It was like a slang word for it. And then eventually it got popularized in Japan in the 1950s, where they really put in so much craft and love into it, like the precision of from the cold glass, the clear ice, and kind of wanted the base spirit to shine, but it was supposed to be a day cocktail, like a day drinking cocktail where it was refreshing and crushable, and it's something that you can drink like more than one or two um, during the day. And yeah, so we're creating a highball today with matcha pineapple cordial that I created with the Mercer green plum juice. So it is clarified, and I'm gonna go ahead and actually I did add the Soul Night Soju, the plum soju, to kind of incorporate the balance of the highball. So it should be very low ABV and very refreshing to drink for the summertime. So I'm actually force carbonating this altogether for that perfect carbonation because highball essentially is a base spirit and a non-alcoholic carbonated mixer. So this is going to be a very refreshing carbonated cocktail.
I love it.
Okay.
Oh, I've never seen this gadget before.
Oh, don't do that.
You have a minute.
A minute. Yes, give it a minute.
See,
I'm gonna do it one more time. Yeah.
I'm a carbonated cocktail whore. Honestly, we have a lot on the menu. I love bubbly cocktails, refreshing things like so we do a lot of at Anima we always do a vodka soda that's force carbonated and ours right now is guava and shiso. And then we also have a clarified Amaro Montenegro pina colada that we then force carbonate. But yeah, I'll carbonate anything. It's great.
Did you say
So when you-
guava shiso?
She's
Like the pepper, right?
or not shishito, but the shiso leaf from
Gotcha.
yeah.
But so now when you say that you're doing this for a cocktail program, I'm seeing what she's doing, and this seems like a lot
Yeah.
to be doing for a cocktail program. Are you doing something on that kind of a frame where it's like small bat, each one, every time someone orders one, you have to do this process? Or how do you have enough for a restaurant to sustain?
Yeah, for sure. So we have we with the forced carbonation, you'll see in a lot of bars and restaurants that are doing it now. You have a CO2 tank and you have a whole rig set up, a regulator. You can set your PSIs, which comes into play when you're talking about getting that carbonation really well done. And then we usually have like 1 or 2 liter bottles. So it actually makes the pickup very quick because once it's carbonated, as long as you don't break that seal, then you can pour it out as you need and kind of go for it. So I was like, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
But with forced carbonating, it's great because you're really getting all those bubbles. You control dilution. Like what I hate about a highball is like when they put too much soda, you get that shitty soda off a gun. God, it's just like, man, this is terrible. So this really allows you to like control the dilution, get those good bubbles, and get a really proper cocktail. Even like I love at home. This is my bougie side. Like when I have my carbonation rig at home, I'll make my own just like whiskey highballs, so just whiskey and soda. But you get to control your ratios and like do that, and it's just a different experience.
Well, and that's an important thing is talking about the carbonation level of your soda, which I bought the Soda Stream recently, which I'm in love with. And because I get to take my own water that I know is like reverse osmosis, then minerals added, then I'm putting carbonation into it. And it says, oh, three pumps for like standard carbonation, which is still more than like what a gun would give you.
Yeah.
And then 5, which is what we're drinking like for our waters, which has got like this extra pop of bubbles. And Suntory actually is famous for their little Suntory, not just this, but Suntory makes a soda machine.
Toki highball machine.
And
I love that.
when we had it at Bramaria, I had it at Sparrow and Wolf, and it's like, it's almost as important as the cocktail program. People are like, ooh, that. And we called it like spicy water or angry water because it's like aggressive on your palate.
Yeah.
So when you have a highball and you have an aggressive bubble on there, it makes the cocktail that much better. This is incredible. This looks fantastic. And I am also a bubbly cocktail whore, as you said. I really just love carbonation. And even the water I drink now, I like carbonated water because it feels almost like I'm having a cocktail.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you.
Cheers. This looks fantastic.
Thanks for being
Thanks, Kyler.
here.
Oh no, that again, learning to bartend in such a small window, it's like one of those challenges that it's like it's just gonna make you stronger. You're right. Here, let's switch back.
Yes. Should I clean this
No.
later? Okay.
Hell yeah. That's amazing. That's delicious. You got to save that one for a pop-up. That's great.
Gotta add the miso water.
Yeah, pineapple's like there, but it's not too just pineapple's not all you're getting. The matcha's there. Like, that's great.
Absolutely. Wow. Yeah, these are one of those drinks, and it's low ABV, so you could have 3 of these, and in a couple of, like I don't know how long, but don't quote me.
10 minutes.
But you could have 3 of these, and you'd still not be like unsafe to drive in an hour. So I always try to think of that because the older I get, the more I have to be responsible, and you think about what am I going to do in the next hour? Where do I have to be tomorrow? So you can't sit around and sober up. You have to drink responsibly and go, okay, I can have 1 martini and then I have to have no more than a beer and then I can go home. But if I do 2 martinis, I'll be over the limit. So there's that fine line that you have to walk, especially living in this town. Las Vegas is crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm also excited to try some of these by themselves. But wow, this is fantastic. Forced carbonation. So now we were also going to talk about Fresh Origins, which you brought me some gifts for their granulated sugars that you put on as a garnish, and you could do a rim for them.
Yes. So just to explain, these are it's kind of like a zero waste product where all the dehydrated like rose petals or the ginger, the leftover little crumbs, they actually grind it up with either sugar or salt, and then they make it into a rimmer. So it's all natural, still organic, and it's actually beautiful on a cocktail too because it has those beautiful rose colors. We have hibiscus, lime jalapeno salt, and there's just I believe there's more than like 15 of different types of rimmers as well.
Yeah, I remember even seeing the mint, like a mint
Oh
sugar
yes,
one. That's
yeah,
really
mint
cool.
and basil too. Yeah.
And this doesn't even highlight like what they're really doing, because the reason they have these little bits is because they have these really awesome and a plethora of different options for the flowers that they use, and they're all they have the micro, they have edible, they have non-edible, they flowers for every occasion. And I recently used them on our Keep Memory Alive charity rodeo that I'm really proud of, and I love that program. And this woman Lori that works for Fresh Origins, I just one day messaged them a couple years back, and I was like, "We love to use I've seen yours at my restaurants that I've worked at, and I would love to use you for this." And she just was like, "Well, we're donating it to a Keep Memory Alive because it's such a good foundation." So she sends us, and you were saying the same thing. That's when she donated us something for you guys. There was this huge box full. You're like, "What the heck? There's so much flowers."
There's just so many varieties of flowers, and if you guys do want, reach out to me. I can connect you guys with a team with the whole catalog. So.
Where do you want them to reach out to you?
So my Instagram handle is at niche by cocktail, and we'll probably drop it down in the caption.
Sure.
But you go ahead and DM me anytime, and then I'll connect you with the team if you guys want to try out any samples for all the garnishes. Because to be honest, there's just if you look at the catalog, there's like thousands of microflowers and microgreens that you can choose from, and it's so beautiful. And I feel like cocktail is all about aesthetics, and it definitely is important component to building a really nice cocktail program or whatever it is that you like to craft.
Absolutely. And it's a one-stop shop for like a lot of beautiful garnish that they do a lot of the work for you.
They do.
Yeah, and I always discover something new every year, and this year was the fire stick, which I love.
Pretty.
It's got like it's just like a little I don't know how you describe it, little tail of it that it has.
It's like a feather almost.
Yeah, and it's just
It's like a pink or
Yeah.
or red. There's like different types of
But
colors.
it contrasts, like I added on a blue drink, and it's just their flowers pop,
Mm.
and I just really love that aspect, and the fact that you can eat. You always want to use edible items in your garnish, and I found out like health department freaks out about little things that you're like, obviously that's not meant to be ate. But we had like the bubble bath at Gatsby, and people be like, "Oh, you can't eat rubber ducky, so it can't go in your cocktail." And I'm like, "Well, I can't eat a straw, but a straw's in my cocktail." But it's just funny. So the great thing about Fresh Origins is you buy most of their flowers are edible. You buy those edible flowers and they can be in the cocktail. There's no rhyme or like there's no worry that you're gonna be a
Everything's edible.
exactly.
It's safe.
Love Fresh Origins. So yeah, please, if you check them out, and you'll be tagged on all like the long form stuff. We'll have you tagged, and all like the short stuff that goes on the social medias. You'll be collaborated.
Yeah, of course.
I actually use them. I didn't know there was this company, but I used them for nationals for Patron the first time I went to nationals, and they because we had a challenge where we had to like highlight flowers and different things, and so I used hibiscus and something else, but from them I was like, oh, I want to do something cool, and so I found they had like fennel blossoms, and then they had oyster blossoms.
Oh, that tastes like
Which
oysters.
Oysters, if you chew, it's a flower, and if you chew it, it actually tastes like an oyster. And I'm like, this is crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So I did a whole presentation. I had like oyster shells we got from like a nearby restaurant. Ice, like as if it was an oyster setup, and we just had the blossoms plucked on there. And so it was a cool thing. But yeah, in hindsight, and I was like, oh, it's super cool. Then if you want, Jen will send you a buzz button and ruin your life.
What is the buzz button composed of? So if you haven't ever had a buzz button, and I don't know if you ever licked a battery, but it's like licking a 9-volt battery. And
It's
because of that exact comment, I've licked a 9-volt battery, but it's it gives you this little shocking tingly sensation on your tongue. And
Oh, yeah, so exactly. It's the same sensation. I don't think I've ever actually licked a battery before, but it's based on it. So it's called a Sichuan buzz button flower. It's supposed to reminisce the Sichuan peppercorn sensation, where when you have this Sichuan peppercorn on your tongue, it kind of like tingles a little bit. That's why it's named after it. But it's actually based out of Brazil. And what it does, it's supposed to sensitize all your taste buds so you feel more of those flavors in the cocktails. So there's this really famous cocktail called the Verbena at the Cosmopolitan. Um, Shout out to Marina Mercer, who actually created the cocktail, and that's our $1 billion cocktail that we sold so much on. Just because it complements really well with the lemongrass, ginger, yuzu margarita that we have, and then with the flour, every part of the ingredient and recipe, it just kind of amplifies by 10, 100 folds, depending on the person. So it's pretty cool. I think it's a pretty cool experience.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I didn't know or think about it
Mhm.
like that with the buzz button. So it's pretty cool to I'll have to try it again.
Yeah.
Experience.
Come on,
I own the
cross-
Face feels like a broken TV screen. But it's affects acidity and things like that. Like on its own, yeah. There's a couple cool things people know. Like there's a liqueur called Tingala, which it's a gold
heard of
from Mexico. Yeah, we used it. We used to do we had a cocktail at Anima called the Vulcan Mind Trick. So you did a shot of Tingala before you drank your drink, and so that was a fun one. But I think the main thing people have told me is it affects your perception of acidity. I think it allows you to take more. I can't remember. Don't quote me. I could be wrong. So don't just like disregard. Rip a shot of lime juice and then get mad at me. You're still gonna get heartburn. It's just
It
not
almost
gonna
has like
taste
a
the same.
spicy feeling. That's why it seems
Yeah.
very numbing.
Well, there's two things that made me think of. A, because when you learn about Shochu and Soju, you oftentimes will also learn about Baijiu. And then since you said Szechuan, and I'm not very versed on a lot of Baijiu, but my favorite one so far that I've tried, of the few that I've tried, is Ming River.
Ming River. Let's go.
Shout out Ming River.
Shout out Ming River, which is also a Szechuan Baijiu, and I truly love this. Like as far as Baijiu, it's a very acquired taste, I would say.
Mhm.
And they're nothing like each other. Like everyone is pretty different. But this one to me is the most, even though it's got a Szechuan pepper, is like it's like Szechuan Baijiu. It's the most approachable, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah. So that one comes from the Sichuan River Valley, like Ming River, Sichuan. But all Baijus are typically made from like a sorghum base. So sorghum, if you're familiar with it, is almost like this really cooked down dark black sugar, and it's not inherently sweet. If you've ever had sorghum, it's not like licking refined sugar. And so obviously making a distillate from something like that where the flavors are more dark and molassesy and kind of complex, like that's why Baijiu kind of has the flavor that it does, which is not going to be so it's more of like that leather and that earth, and so it's very interesting.
Would you say that makes it similar, more closely related to like a rum?
Technically speaking, yeah, if you're talking like just pure sugar source, because I believe most Baijiu are going to be made from sorghum, if not all. I'm not super well versed, but But they all can vary very like pretty widely. Like the Baijiu they drink, Baijiu is actually technically the most consumed spirit in the world because the number of people in China. But it's technically
They also drink it in like the tiniest amounts too, right? At ceremonial.
yeah, they don't necessarily. Well, some, yeah, it definitely varies. So I think like the goal of Ming River when we were, because they sponsored one of our pop-ups in San Francisco, they were great. Their goal is to try to bring Baijiu to be more mainstream and more understood. Whereas a lot of people typically, if they have experienced it, it's it's very funky. It's hard to drink on its own. A lot of
100%.
yeah. I don't know too many people who are like, yeah, let me get a Baijiu
that up.
rocks, big dog. Like,
Well, I think I got a gift set with this, and the shot glasses that it comes with are like tiny little like pinky size
quarter ml shots.
So I was like, well, that's how it's meant to be drank.
Yeah, so it's Baijiu is definitely like interesting. I love that we talked about highballs though, because to me it's such an interesting concept that like everywhere you travel to, every country almost has like their version of a highball. Like in Japan with sake and stuff, or shochu, they have like mizuwari, which is just shochu and soda, and then like the Japanese, like we were talking about earlier with you, is like a lot of places don't actually garnish their highballs. And they, in Japan, the very popular thing that's come up in the recent years is a sonic. So it's called a gin sonic. So instead of a gin and tonic, because the Japanese find tonic to be too sweet, they'll cut it different ratios with soda and tonic. And then it usually actually comes with sweet and lime juice, though. Man, not necessarily like a roses, but they'll have some of that in there already. So it's very interesting to see like how they're doing it. I was on a sonic kick for a while where I was crushing those. I was just like,
It's coming up in the name of the cocktail. Amazing.
Came up with that.
I don't know who popularized it in Japan, but like, and then you started seeing a lot of these Japanese bars, like it became a staple on their menu.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about forced carbonation, how they're carbonating their water, like water sources, if you want to get really
Japanese
nerdy.
craft is something. They're so precise on everything, and there's a lot to learn from them. It's just, I feel like balance. Everything's just to the T perfection.
Well, and we talked a little bit about. I think this one's yours. We talked a little bit about the Japanese style when we first started the podcast, about how it's often imitated, and there's a reason for that because of the craftsmanship and care that they put into it, and it's something to truly respect. But it also comes with its own, like, it's not, Japanese bartending isn't about the bartender. It's about your show that the bartender is giving you. But they're quiet, and they're like almost out of, as soon as they can be out of the way, they are out of the way. And it's like, here's the cocktail, focus on the cocktail, boom, and then here you go and enjoy it. And it's like, because it's not about them, even though they're showing you this master craftsman, their craft is actually what's in front of you.
It's true.
And I truly, like, I have a fanboy affection for the way they do things. And it has shaped, like, ever since Cut was where I learned about Japanese bartending. And it truly, it made me like appreciate it so much that I wanted to meld it into my style of bartending. So I have some kind of a blend between Americanized with the Boston shaker and the cobbler shaker. So my hands are positioned a certain way because I use the cobbler shaker for,
you do
like,
the 3-point.
I mean, yeah, I can't do it like some of the masters that I used to study on YouTube, because when you start a cut, they're just like, okay, study these guys, try to do that shake. And you're like, all right. And then when I left Cut, you're like, okay, I don't have to do the Japanese style anymore. So you kind of find your own rhythm in between the worlds of all the previous ways you've bartended, and you find like your niche where you groove into the best.
Right.
So a lot of fun, discovering the way cultures do things and all of that really is part of the benefit of being a bartender, because I feel like we get all this opportunity to see and experience all this culture, but we get to do it in this fun setting that people are more often apt to talking to you about it. So as soon as you're doing something that someone else knows about, they will give you any information. And if you ask them a few questions about something they didn't know about, they'll lean into you. So it's like having all these bar guests from all over the world, especially working at Cosmo, you're probably international clientele at all times. So, obviously it can be very busy and there's not time to talk, but then on the quieter night or during the lower flow hours, you're having great conversations and learning from the people that are sitting.
So I think I learned so much just from guests, because like everyone comes from a different cultural background, and I feel like you learn so much from different cultures. I actually adore guests who challenge me, because it's not like one of those like you're either a Tito's soda, guest or you want a cosmopolitan lemon drop guest. We kind of categorize different types of it, like every guest into a category. And there's always this minor pool of guests who are like, do you even know how to make a Manhattan? And I don't
Smart.
immediately triggered.
How's the best question? How's your old fashioned?
Oh yeah.
Hopefully the same as everyone else's. I mean,
If it's bad, I'm worried for all of us. Yeah.
Oh my God. Speaking of which, I actually had a guest who came up to me and said, I don't think you can make me a cocktail. That was his first statement. I was like, oh, okay.
How do you do?
Exactly. Well, hi. I hope you're having a great day, first of all. And I kind of introduced myself to him and I told him, well, was there a cocktail that you wanted? Like I could ask someone to make it for you if you don't want me to make it. But what's the cocktail that you want you want? And he wanted a classic vodka martini. So I was like, okay. I was like, is there a specific, there's just so many different
book.
he he had a
Can't.
he had a 1-page.
Oh.
I'm not even kidding. Like 1 page filled with the instructions of how to make a perfect vodka martini the way that he likes.
This is like advanced from the card guys. Guy has a card.
whole page.
This is
Step up from him at a bird with the fucking parchment paper that drops to the ground. Hear ye, hear ye. Fucking
Oh,
back in my day.
so I was like, okay, can I just take a look real quick? Because I was very curious. I was like, okay, what's on this piece of paper? I looked down.
sneaks a picture.
He wrote every line was like, okay, first get a chill glass. I was like, okay, that's a great start. Second, put 3.5 ounce of. I still remember this. This is like 7 years ago.
It affected. This is hey, it was in a
Trauma.
piece of paper.
Teaching.
3.5 ounce of Belvedere vodka, and I was like, okay. We do 3 ounce, but we can do 3.5 if you really want to. And the next step was shake for exactly 4 minutes and 55 seconds.
She ate the crap.
And he actually had a timer ready. I am not kidding.
And then he tipped 5%.
I'll get to that.
4 minutes and 55 seconds.
It's not even a
But-
gin fizz. Jesus.
The ice cannot. So I had to do a separate. I had to have 2 shaker tins because he wanted the ice to be wet with vermouth, and there's an exact measurement for that, which is fine. And then in the other tin, I had to put exactly 3.5 ounce of the Belvedere vodka combined together. And I looked at my bartender next to me because he's a slacker, and I'm not going to name him.
It's not pointing at me. You know who you are. Insert like exactly who
He
you are.
actually loved Cosmo. So, not because of that trick. But I looked at him and I was like, oh my God, I think do you want to like actually help this guest out? Because I'm going to go. I think he wants a different bartender. And he was just like, yeah, sure. I'll help out. Okay. And then he steps in and I was like, you have to follow exactly these instructions. And I like loved it.
Gotta go to something back. Bye.
And I like ran to the back and I kind of like watched him while I was like helping out. And he was shaking, like sweat. Shaking.
5 minutes is a long time to be shaking, yo. That's
I'm like, that's water at that point.
wrapping up.
Oh my God.
But the way that he was shaking was not satisfying to that guest. He had to have that rhythm of like really like hard shake for completely consistently for 4 minutes and 57 seconds.
I despise this person.
Slushy by the time you're done. That's fucking.
And so after the end of it, he finally made it, and it went way over the martini glass portion. So we had to get a second, rock glass
Sidecar,
support,
yeah.
a sidecar next to it. And it filled like literally all the way up because he was shaking it so hard.
I mean, 4 minutes and 55 seconds.
All the ice is water.
Oh, I don't know what else you're doing with that. And that's assuming you have good big ice.
Oh, if you had hotel ice, 1 minute. Done.
1 minute it is generally water.
It's an ice, but oh my God, I felt so bad for him. At the end of the day, he was just like, why did you do that to me? So I mean, we're still friends, but
You're a lazy ass.
This is good for you. This was good for you.
he wasn't satisfied though. He's like, this is not the way that it should taste. And he left, I think, 10, maybe 10%. It wasn't even 10%. And it's only like, we charged him maybe, at the time, it was like $18 for the martini. So
the heavy pour.
$1, and it was exact cents, like to the amount with the tax. And I was like, wow.
You said he wasn't satisfied. I don't think that guy's satisfied very often. I mean, and that's
Set should last exactly 4 minutes and 57 seconds. Consistent rhythm. But I'm gonna starfish. She knows all the work.
that's how I work.
With vigor.
Yeah. And I need to finish at exactly 4:58. Otherwise, it's wasted.
I am
Half off. Half off.
Part of going to bars is to experience that bar. So to me, when I meet, and I get liking what you like is cool, and I'm totally for that. And if you come to the bar, and I mean that I'm gonna call pretty pretentious, but if you come to the bar and you know exactly how you like your martini and you order it, and even if you're like, I think that the vermouth rinse is kind of silly for a shaken, martini. I totally pro vermouth in a martini, but all these things, it's like, you're not even here to enjoy yourself. You're here to teach people how to live. And it's just like, are you getting anything out of this? Because you make it for yourself at home very well. How about like, don't get your cocktail out and try the venues or whatever, because it's like that. I mean, that is the most insane thing I've ever heard. I've seen a lot of cards in my life where it's like 2 cherries, not 1 or whatever. And it's got all these little details, but like, I honestly would struggle. Like, and I'm pretty good at, yes, sir, right away. Like, I'm pretty good at that. And
Can I save your fingers?
yeah. So that's like one of my things is, you're at an event, you grab a lime to put on top of a cocktail, you'd be like, oh, can I save your fingers? And they're like, oh yeah, please. And and drop it in there or whatever. But
It's only silly because he does it every time. Like, and I work next to him, so I'm like, can I say it? And so that when I say it, it's not for them. It's for him.
me to laugh.
And I save your fingers, and like, what do you mean? It's like,
They get it because you're holding a lime in front of them and you're like, can I save your fingers? And they're like, yes, please. If I were just like, can I save your fingers? They'd be like, for what?
What the hell are you talking about, bro?
So it's relevant with
Easy, Jeffrey Dahmer. Right?
I save those fingers. But it's part of going to a bar, especially something where unique. It's different if you're first of all, if you're at a gaming bar, like PTs or something, and you're giving them that card. Wow.
oh, could you imagine trying to ask? Like,
They would just be like, no,
you need to shake it for 5 minutes. They'd be like, you need to get the fuck out.
You mean a blender? Yeah, we got a blender.
what's that bottle? It's filled with water. You don't want it. There's no Belvedere on the back bar. Sorry, dude.
While we're because I know me and you ran out of our drink pretty fast. He's
Oh, I've been.
he tucks it up. Okay, nice trick. But oh yeah, let me give you a couple.
Smells great.
You want teeth?
Oh, this is phenomenal.
This is actually delicious stuff.
So he's pouring some of that. Which kind of night was it?
Soul night.
Soul night. Ah, very topical.
Let y'all so glow.
Let your soul glow. Let's see here. But we were gonna make a Weber Ranch vodka cocktail, and we were talking in advance of what we'll do. Wow, that is so fragrant.
Oh, the plum.
Yeah, that is lovely.
So different than any soju you probably had at a cheap karaoke bar.
So classy.
Yeah, but who remembers those nights anyways?
Yeah, 1000%.
You say I had soju, do you?
Mm.
Wow. That's how you know something smells good, when I don't even need to drink it for a while and I'm just sitting with it.
It has this, like, even on the flavor, it almost reminds me of like tea. The texture and the tannin. There's almost like a tannin structure there. I think from like the plums and the skins they probably use.
I was told that when they actually ferment, they add a touch of Jeju honey, which is an island in Korea, and they grow a lot of those halabang, which is like the mandarin oranges in Korea, and they actually source like the Jeju honey that's grown there, and then they add it to the fermentation process.
Is there something special about that honey that?
It's just because everything that's grown in Jeju, it's probably like the highest quality of
Yeah.
of
Well,
farming.
it's
And
not an island that a lot of people necessarily like. It's not like a huge gathering island where people live a lot of, right? There's a lot of agriculture, a lot of farming. There's famous black pigs on on Jeju Island. There's Jeju daikon. So there's a radish that we use. So normal radish is actually kind of like Korean radish, is kind of spicy. We use it in making kimchi and kakdugi and other things. But if you eat a Jeju daikon, it actually tastes like a pear. Like you could bite into that thing like straight up raw, and it's not gonna be spicy. It's not gonna have any bite. It tastes like a pear, and so it's crazy. And so that's
Does it have that texture that like a more crispy?
a little less, yeah, a little less like waxy than like a typical one, and then a little more of that crisp texture, but not like an Anjou pear, like an American pear.
Sure. What about daikon radish? Like a sushi restaurant, will it do like a bed of daikon? Is it like that texture?
Yeah, well, so that's more of our traditional radish that we use to make kimchi. The other one, think of a cross of like that, and then we also have like almost like an apple texture, like a very crisp apple, like in a pear or like a daikon had a baby, like it's kind of like that. But the flavor is like it's kind of sweet. It's not so like aggressive, because I feel like if you drink or eat Korean normal like the general radish, it has like a spice to it, almost like horseradishy, right? Like yeah.
I love horseradish.
I don't.
Oh man, I could eat. I mean, I know it's not like true horseradish when I'm doing that, but
Oh no, like on a prime rib or something, yeah, that's different.
leash. Oh, I go to Butcher Block for my steaks, and I always get their horseradish. It's the freaking best. But it's one of those things that you can't keep it in for more than a couple days,
Yeah.
or it loses all of its oomph. But when you first crack it, I could take a spoon, and it's almost like, smelling salts and stuff. It's like that for your mouth, and it like, woo. I love that so much.
it's all your
It's
senses.
a great sensation. I don't know why.
100%.
Like something about the pain I like.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, definitely the soil, I think, is what makes
It's just
like,
fresh. You have the sea air. You have all kinds of stuff. That
Ooh.
affect.
I also wanted to ask you that. So we did the highball. I always like to kind of like, before, even if it's something I've been doing for years, right? I want to look up what is the general population making this drink. How do they do it before we all come on here? And I'm like, okay, because I always I thought that either a lemon wedge or a lemon peel was a highball. If you don't have that, it's just I mean, it is technically a highball, but when it's like
what's like the
the cocktail,
so the Japanese way of creating a highball, it says 1 part spirit, so usually like a Japanese whiskey, to 2 to 4 parts of like the non-alcoholic carbonated mixer. I like to do 1 part of Japanese whiskey, 3 parts of club soda, very carbonated soda, and do a nice expression of the lemon oil to kind of get that aromatics going, to kind of lean you into that first sip. But it's all about that perfect balance and the clear ice. It's the whole package of what makes that perfect highball. And I think Japan does it just so elegantly and just so precisely.
and they're one of those places that they have all the pomp and circumstance of, you take like the big cube and you chill down the glass that way, and then you take that cube out and you put a fresh cube in sometimes, and you're just like, damn, we're gonna spend some money on cube.
Yeah, seriously. Out here, it's like, that's a $32 highball. Oh, it's like, well,
3 times.
yeah, I ordered Tito's. It's like, well, I had to take the cube out, put the fresh one in. This lemon's imported from Barbados.
Everything's imported.
Yeah.
Well, and that was just the thing. I'm like, what is there a right, garnish? Is there a wrong garnish? And I suppose it's, what are you using for your base spirit? If it's tradition, if I'm doing a traditional Japanese highball and I put the lemon peel in there, because I mean, again, researching it with some of the most famous Japanese bartenders in the world, they didn't put a garnish on there.
Oh, they didn't.
And I was like, what?
Traditionally, like the highball was meant to enjoy the spirit more than anything, so you didn't want to interfere. And I think the modern, more American accepted way is that we want to add that citrus or something to it. So it kind of changes. Like, I think a great example, right, is like if you've ever been to Katana Kitten in New York, they probably have one of the best martinis I've ever had. It's very similar to like a Vesper in terms of like they use Grey Goose, I forget which gin, a little bit of very dry Fino sherry, a little bit of vermouth, and It's the most perfectly balanced fucking martini that I've ever had. They give you the sidecar in a little soju box or sake box.
Nice.
And it's just,
So good.
it's what, and Masa is the owner, is a, incredible bartender. He trains the bar staff, but it's like, that's a very non-traditional martini, right? Like if you order that or a Vesper, it's not. But to me, it's one of the most balanced I've had. And what they do is on the box, they give you an olive, an onion, a twist. They give you it all. They're like, here you go. Because it's like, but it's like, yeah, like not everyone wants the same thing. I'm a big fan. I just posted a video about ordering martinis. It's like, be very specific, because what you think is dirty and what I think is dirty is going to be different. Or, your measurement for a Vesper versus mine. Like the traditional Vesper measurement's wild. It's like 3 parts gin, 1 part vodka, a half part of Kina Lillet. And I'm like, damn, you're going to get wasted, dog. Like you're going to die. For me, like my preferred Vesper, if I'm drinking one, is or it's gin vodka flip, but I like, I do 1.5 ounces of gin, like a fat half of vodka, and then a ½ ounce or Lillet Blanc. And then, also something, a cocktail like that, I think when we were talking about this earlier with the Weber Ranch, like cool ideas we might have, it's like, God, that for that cocktail, it matters so much what gin you're using, what vodka, because it's so like, you got nothing to hide behind here, buddy. So it's like what you putting in that glass. So it's such an interesting thing to see, like, we're talking about Japanese bartenders, how precise they are. Their precision in even the evolution in America and how they're taking it and like stretching it kind of beyond the box. Martini's owner, what is his name? He escaped me.
Takuma?
Yeah. Too many Japanese names in my I was gonna say something like that sounds a little racist to just say that random name. No, we love Takuma. But his is, his whole thing, he's very precise. So he's very good, and he's doing, cocktails, and he's not, I think what I appreciate most about Japanese bartending, even though we kind of talked, and I hate the American adaptation that's kind of happened from it. But what I appreciate the most is, like, even when they're doing these things, they're not going so far beyond the box that it sounds like, on paper, it still sounds like it makes sense. It still sounds good, whereas in America, I feel like we take things way too far here. The average,
putting too much on it.
Too much into it, too much on it, too many bartenders. I was trained by a very traditional bartender from Boston who, like, kind of very early stages of American craft. So for him, it was like, if you got to put more than 6 ingredients in there, we need to start talking about taking things away. Unless the very rare occasions do you need more than that, and things just happen to balance that way. But he's like, once you're in that kind of 6 ingredient line, it's like, there's too much going on here. Like, and I'm kind of that way when it comes to menus, and when I'm at a place. If I read on there, you put lemongrass on there and I don't taste lemongrass, I'm all of a sudden disappointed. Doesn't mean it's a bad cocktail, but it's like, why did you put this in there, or why does it say it's in there if I can't taste it? And I hate that, because it's the same with a dish.
Just to put in a buzzword.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, lemongrass and this. It's like if you read a dish and it said, like, I don't know, like bacon in there, but they just used pork fat or rendered bacon fat. You'd be like, where the fuck's the bacon, dude?
Yeah.
It's like, I know it's a piece of cake or something, but I'm like, I was really looking forward to the damn bacon. Like, so I think that plays another big thing in, like, menu writing and all that stuff. But that's a whole different topic of conversation.
Well, but it's actually very relevant, because also, even with competitions and everything, like, that's a huge factor.
Yeah.
If this is, mystery ingredient is this, and I don't, it's like, it's not just, is it in there and do I like this cocktail? Because, there was like one time I had black mint paste. I think you were with me. And it's like, yes, that's a rough ingredient to work with, but they still need to taste that unique mint. You don't just want to mask it. So I think it's very relevant either for the cocktail circuit or for the restaurant menu, because it's, like you said, why is this on here? Was this needed? Could I have just used simple syrup?
Yeah.
Made it a simple cocktail, a lot. It also, it's like, well, how much prep work really went into that for something you're not even getting from the cocktail? Like, that's a huge factor. Like, was this a waste of my time?
1000%.
So, and then you were speaking of Vesper, which that's kind of the template for what we're about to do. And this was your suggestion. I would have never thought to put a non-peated Scotch, which, if you're not familiar with the Lottie Classic, Brook Lottie is an Isla Scotch, and they're famous for this. The Lottie Classic specifically has no peat whatsoever, but they're a very experimental distillery where they also have the most peated, which is Octomore, and incredible. As well as they were doing these, there was, like, in the 2008, 2009, 2010, they had estate grain and all these different things that they've done. So as far as a distillery that's doing cool and unique things, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it here before that Springbank is my #1 distillery in the world. But this is one of those cool places that they're like, hey, we're not going to pigeonhole ourselves into just tradition. We'll give you a little bit of tradition in some of our range, but also there's enough of the traditional places. Let's give you a new product. Let's give you something fun. Let's give you something different. So I'm loving this. And then we're going to grab the Lillet.
We're doing a Vesper today.
Huh? Yeah, it's a version of a Vesper. Because I was like, oh, we did some citrusy fun cocktails. We should do some a little more oomph.
Now, we were talking half, 1.5?
I think so. I think that might be the move.
Now, here's the question. I don't have matching glassware
I
anymore.
don't give a shit.
Should we do this down? Should we do this on a big rock? Is that going to take away too much? Like,
whatever you got, let's try it.
You know, just because I feel like it's going to be small by itself, I'm going to put it on a big rock.
Yeah, that's good. It's great. Love that.
Are you going to shake it for 4 minutes and 57 seconds?
I was going to stir it for no shake at all, to be honest with you.
Really?
You have to shake a tin for 4 minutes while you stir it. Just
Help
to
that
add the
base bond.
Yeah.
What are the benefits of winning that guy over? You win that guy over, now you got to deal with that guy.
Facts. If he actually liked that martini, he would be the
bad.
bane of your fucking.
Most of the time, I'm like 100% trying to make sure you get the guests to like you. But that guy, I'm like, I think we can lose that guy.
He actually never came back. So
Thanks God.
it's been 5 years.
Wonder if he's still out there.
No, it's one of those. We talk about hospitality, right? And we're talking about this with how the strip is and lower tourism rates, and like I'm very glad the company that I ended up at, because for the owners, they're very much hospitality. I probably don't touch tables enough for them, honestly, as a manager sometimes. But that's what they built their business on, and to their detriment sometimes. And I've told this to their face, so if they see this, no big deal. But it's like to the point where I'm like, my guy, like we are pandering a little too much here, and people get these ridiculous requests. And, we try to instill that in the service staff too. And it's like, yes, like if we can make it happen, we should try. We draw a line somewhere. It's like, we're not a freaking Olive Garden. You can't just add a random protein to a pasta. But it's like, and we've had people ask, they're like, you don't just have like chicken you can grill up. And I was like, no, dude, this isn't a fucking Olive Garden. Like,
You want generic Italian, go to a generic restaurant.
yeah, but it's like,
Basic.
that I think that's a big part of why this group has been successful, even prior to me joining it and now. But also it's finding that balance of like, maybe we can lose this fucking guy. Like,
Well, you think of if you're busy and then that guy comes in and he's expecting 5-minute shake, like that's 5 minutes of you not touching bar top.
You're losing.
That's extremely selfish to me. Like,
Like,
talk about not caring about who else is going. 5 minutes? You want me to be with you for 5 minutes, and that's before this preamble that I had to listen to? So we're really at 10 minutes before I can walk away from you.
this was that famous Adam. I'm sure you've had the book Liquid Intelligence. There's a story that Dave Arnold talks about at Booker and Dax, where he's like, we don't do vodka sodas here, but someone really wanted a vodka soda. He's like, are you okay waiting 20 minutes for it? He's like, why? He's like, because I need to get the vodka and the ratios and measure this out, and I'm going to force carbonate it, and I need to calculate the PSI. And the guy was like, sure. And so Dave Arnold took the time, and he's like, he did it. And it's like, this is fine. I know I have this in my back pocket, but he's like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's like, yeah, I'll roll my eyes. It's only every time someone's ordered a fucking gin fizz at my restaurant, a Ramos gin fizz, it's when I'm fucking 10 tickets deep at the wall. And I was like, you know what? He ordered it. I'm going to make it. Tell him it's going to be a minute though. And as long as he's cool, like I will make it. And he's like, all right. I even put one on a specials menu once because we were playing around with some ideas and I didn't have any of the fun tools. So it's all raw shake. And the cocktail underneath it said, this cocktail may take up to 20 minutes. I suggest you order another cocktail while you wait. And so it actually boosted sales. That was a good one. Yeah.
back then I couldn't have you. Now I can have you. I don't.
1000%.
Yeah, it's elusiveness.
I'm actually really excited. I've never had a cocktail like this with scotch and vodka. And this is a unique vodka. I will say this. You were saying just like how gin in a Vesper is, the wrong gin, that's not the right cocktail. And I love Weber Ranch, and I think they're amazing for a million things. But I tried it with a dirty martini. I'm like, it's one of the things they don't do. It's not a dirty martini vodka, and that's okay. Because if it was for everything, it would be too neutral.
Yeah.
Right. So that nuance that makes it special is also why it doesn't play with every single. It's not just a vodka. It's not. You want neutral. Like Grey Goose is very neutral. Belvedere's pretty neutral unless you're getting one of their,
Yeah.
estate ones. But you're going to Weber Ranch for nuance and for more than neutral.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I love split basing, and sometimes people think it's weird, and I'm like, no, just try this. Like, try this. Like, I'll put rum in random cocktails. I'll put this. We had a cocktail, and I forget why I named it this way. I don't know why. I think the movie Dodgeball was just stuck in my head. But we had a cocktail that was like, it was almost Long Islandish. It was like tequila, gin, rum. No vodka we didn't put in there. Like some kind of a citrus mix. And then we topped it off with an IPA that we had on tap. And we called it the White Goodman. And I don't know why, but I was just like, and it was freaking delicious. And I was like, I think I did a chartreuse gin rum cocktail with something else, and it was a stirred one. It was called the Death's Door because it was Death's Door gin, which doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, you people don't, I think, pull from other base spirits enough to like tap into the qualities that they have, because they're always reaching for a liqueur or something else. I'm like, nah, dude, you want complexity? There's plenty of shit you can do with that stuff right there.
I've noticed like with split bases, there's the trend of the tequila and the mezcal, because not a lot of people love mezcal, and I feel like it really mellows it out and kind of rounds out those flavor profiles where it makes it approachable. So I feel like it does add those like flavor balance, and it kind of rounds out all the.
Yeah, you need herbaceousness. Add a little gin in there, and vodka. What I love, and Chris was really the one to open my eyes up to this, was that vodka is a great lengthener. If you need to stretch out flavors and you need more texture and body, even though vodka inherently doesn't necessarily have a ton of flavor, you can use that as a way to kind of stretch things out.
Yeah.
And so that was a cool one.
Oh wow. Fancy cute.
It's either gonna be fucking terrible or amazing.
Right. I was like, man, but I also trust you. So I was like, this is going to be good.
I trust you too.
I don't. That's a bold statement.
That makes one of
Expectations like up there.
I definitely have a wing it kind of culture in me, though. I'll say that much.
If you want
I
to
love that. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, he just did a great job of not hitting the mic once the whole time. Like not even a bump, nothing. Excellent. Well done.
Well, that's my favorite thing to tell guests, though. It's like, I'm like, look, dude, I'll make you whatever you want. Like, if one, like my biggest pet peeve is like, if you've never tried a cocktail here, don't just be like, oh, I don't want it sweet. Can you take out this? Be like, no. Try it first. If you don't like it, I'll happily adjust it.
100%.
99% of the time they try it, they're like, oh, it's fine. Like, it's good. If you've tried it before, sure, I will absolutely adjust. And then it's just that's my biggest thing. It's just like, if you've never had it before,
What if they come in and they're like, make me something off menu. And like, did you try anything on the menu? They're like, no, I want something for me. I want you to make it for me.
Maybe it's you.
Oh, I've so heavy batch program at Anima because we have one bartender that does the entire restaurant and the bar top. And I had one guy come in and he saw that a lot of our stuff was batched. And I'm like, look, it's consistent. It gets out timely. I want you guys to have your drinks. Like, there's no funny business going on. He was just like, oh, like, I just want you to make me a drink. I'm like, I can do that too. Like, he was so upset that we had a batch program. And I was like, bro, this isn't a 10-seat cocktail bar. Like, get over yourself. Like,
Oh, we spent months and time and lots of thought and care went into making this so that way it's consistent.
Wi-Fi.
no, but it's there was a big conversation around
Say
that.
Wi-Fi. I like it.
Huge conversation around batch programs. Like, why am I going to this cocktail bar and I'm watching this person literally just pour over a cube and stir it? And I was like, look, that's the thing about time and place, right? Restaurant, I'm not necessarily there to watch the bartender get wooed and nod, maybe late night at Birria or something, sure. Like, we're there to have a good time. But like the average restaurant bar, I'm not there to my focus is not the cocktail, generally speaking. Right?
It's normally the guest you're with, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're solo diner, that's one thing. But
yeah. But even then, it's like, I'm not there to necessarily, like, as long as my drink tastes good, like, we're good. If I go to a cocktail bar, sure, I want to see a little more going on. But at the end of the day, like, for me personally, I think there's this balance, right? Like, you do want to put on a show. You do want to make things nice. But you shouldn't be bummed out. If something's batched and it tastes good, like, what's the difference at the end of the day? Some people will curse me down about that and be like, no, well, there's, you're creating the ambiance. And I'm like, yeah, but can I create the ambiance a different way? Can I have a fucking conversation with you? Can we interact?
My thing was, how much money is that ambiance gonna cost, and how much is it gonna, how much are you making for that extra ambiance that you're providing?
That's great. I would.
that was like, and let me show you something new. Let me dare to step out of your comfort zone for a couple moments. You know, it's like I get it if I'm pouring you well vodka and like on the menu, but if I have like a quality vodka listed or something, and your only concern was the quality of the vodka, then you shouldn't be asking to switch anything. It's like, dude, you're here, you're seeing the cocktail menu, don't get it, and I'm not, of course, do what you want and ask, and when it's a normal night, of course, do that. But there's like a level of, hey, this is I'm here to enjoy the experience. Let me just try what they're doing, and if I don't like it, I'll go to my old faithful afterwards. And you just have to be willing to like roll the dice on a cocktail, get it, and if you don't love it, live with it.
I think any good place for the most part, we talk about this, wine becomes a bigger conversation because you're obviously putting a lot of money into a bottle. And for the most part, like, when you're the comparison I make here is like you get $100, $200 bottle of wine, obviously a much bigger commitment than a cocktail. But when you check the wine, you're only checking if it's sound. You're not checking if it's actually like you like it. You're just making sure that it's not bad.
Yeah.
It hasn't gone bad. But I talked to my ex about this, and I'm like, what if you do that for a guest and they genuinely just like, they do not like this? She's like, doesn't happen very often, but like we'll fucking eat it. We'll just take the cost. We'll get them something else. It's like that's my biggest thing. Is like if I can tell you don't like something, I will remove it out of your way. I will not charge you for it. I will get you something else that you do like. Now, if we're on 3 or 4 cocktail on my menu and you've ordered them, I'll be like, all right, dude. After number 2 or 3, just tell me what you want already, because obviously we aren't on the same fucking page here.
The whole menu.
Yeah, like, but to me, if you're a good business, you've worked those costs in, you're there to make the guests happy. It's they took a shot, they don't like it, it's fine.
And that's the other thing with batching. It's like consistency is something, and knowing that every single guest in here is going to get the same quality of cocktail, like you were saying with the tomatoes. How tart are the tomatoes? How juicy? How much flavor is in them? It's the same thing with strawberries. If you have a muddled strawberry cocktail on your menu, but you're not sourcing your strawberries from a place that actually is giving you the same exact quality every time, and you're just, let's say, getting delivered from a random large distributor, it's hit or miss. You don't know how sweet those are, and they could be very void of flavors. And now your whole cocktail is like, why isn't this quite right? And that's what a batching prevents, is those little high volume. It's like you want to be at a bar that there's a ton of people coming in because there's buzz and it's fun and there's energy, and to continue that feeling and to continue that experience, you have to have that consistency. Just like when a bartender does their cocktail, like let's say it's an espresso martini off menu, and you make yours with one thing, or a pinch of salt, and you don't. And it's like, well, but now if you're in the well, is all of them going out different than if she's in the well? And
Yeah.
if you took over the well from him, and now the person that ordered the first round of espresso martini, now they get the second one, like, ooh, I don't like this much salt or whatever. And it's like, you're totally messing up. One of you looks bad. And now you have one of the people come, oh, I want her to make my cocktail, and that's one of those things that people just have to understand. Do you want a high quality, if you're at a high volume place and you want high quality, batching is the right way to go. Like some of the best bars in the entire world, Nomad is famous for their batch program.
Yeah, it's become synonymous to like a bad word, because it's like, well, the thing is, right, it's like people equate like this experience, and I get if that's what you're looking for, go to a bar that does that. Like there's plenty of bars that do scratch pickups, and that's fine. Like, and they have everything measured out, and it's like, I think the issue is that people are like, why am I paying $30? It's venues becoming greedy, realizing they can pump these out faster, charge more for them, whatever. And then the guests also seeing it's like, why am I paying $30 for this cocktail that came out of a bottle? And it's like, it's hard to equate that, right? And it's more in places like New York and San Francisco, and the prices in general are going to be freaking high.
Yeah.
The Strip, I think, is seeing that now too. People are drinking less because I don't go to the Strip to drink because shit's too expensive unless I'm at dinner. But it's expensive to drink on the Strip, man. And
I just came back from Mexico City, and I went to Handshake Bar, which
I've heard.
number 1 in the world right now. And their whole program is I think 80-90% of their cocktail menu is batched.
Has to be.
But they still put a lot of love into making each cocktail, because there's a lot of preparation done.
Hours.
Yeah.
Hours every day in
Exactly.
advance.
And people don't know that. But once you taste it, it's like balance, the flavors, everything. You can tell that there was so much love that was put into this in the making. So, there's a reason why they're number 1. And I think it's just consistency is definitely one of the most important things in running a successful bar program. And I think it's one of the hardest things that people can actually do.
That's funny because like our pop-up is the opposite of consistency. We're trying new things every time. We're like, oh, but we've gotten better. It's getting better.
Trying things out.
Yeah.
I think we're starting to get like a
We're hitting a rhythm. Yeah.
well, yeah, menu now.
That's also, and I want to close out on this, is that's part of why, like when he said he was originally wanted to do brick and mortar and you were kind of more on the let's do events, let's do pop-ups. And I used to think I wanted my own bar. I was like, man, I really want my own venue. But now I've opened up, 6 different places in the last, several years. And it's not only is you could have the best idea and the best program and even have, all the right things, but one thing's missing. Like, oh, your location's a little hard to get to. Or oh, the time of the year that you popped off was just not the right time and there was a lull and it took 6 months to get going.
Right.
And those things are difference makers in a successful program. So making sure that you're doing those things and following the things that make up the customer, or the guest, I should say, comfortable, happy, but also having to play into that showmanship, balancing a batch program against how much am I going to show them, how much is, because you want to show them this experience and you want to show them your craft cocktail, but I also can't take 15-20 minutes to produce all these really from scratch awesome things. Because some of the best bars that I've heard of in town, I don't think it's there anymore, like the Vanderpump spot.
Oh.
I don't know if that's still there on
Caesar's Palace.
Yeah, but they would be like coolest cocktails ever. I got one and we left because it took 20 minutes, and it's just like but that's a scratch program, and that's really bespoke and off the cuff, and it comes with all these other things.
It was delicious. I remember,
and I heard nothing but good things about the flavor and then the timing, and it's like that's the trade-off.
But you have to, I think, as someone who wants to be a business owner, and me and Jen go back and forth on this all the time. Like, do we want to do brick and mortar? Is that really one? Because I've opened plenty of venues myself. I know what goes into that. I know what your life looks like. And then when you become an owner, you're not doing what you love anymore, dude. You're a plumber, you're a janitor, you're a contractor, you're a payroll, because you can't afford to pay these people. And it's like, I think you really like thinking about what you want to open. I think we're seeing this with these 50 best spots and all this stuff. It's like all these vanity bars that get open. And trust me, again, a lot of, like, I get it. Like, you have to be a businessman first, though. You got to be the businessman first, and you have to really take stock of what you value. Is it that bespoke experience and you love that, you want to create that? Maybe I don't open an 80-seat bar. Like, obviously these values aren't quite aligning. Maybe I open a 10 or 20-seat bar so that I can fill my place, versus the other way. It's like, I want to put out large volume of something good. I want to tailor it to industry. Well, if you want to tailor an industry bar, maybe don't serve $10 beers, maybe, so it's like I love, shout out to my friend Rylan at Toto Bien. I don't go there too often, one, because Uncommons is expensive. I'm like, bro, you're charging $7 for Tecate.
For Tecate?
For Tecate. I'm like, I'm not paying $7 for Tecate.
That's your price.
I will come and visit you because I support you as a person, but like, and shout out to everyone that supports us and spends the money. We try to make it, reasonable price, and we want people to feel the value, but also like, it's you got to draw the line somewhere, it's like 100%. So, and I think that's the biggest thing that I'll shut my mouth on, is just like, figure out what you're passionate about and align that to what you're doing. I think we see these other bars and their roadmaps, like, again, the 50 Best Things Handshake, they have a team that does nothing but guest shifts. They travel year round. That's their whole thing. Because right now, to get on a 50 Best list, to get a Tails Award, to be on some of these things, you have to do guest shifts, because that's the new hotness. That's the flavor. And we talked about this. It's like, how
that's the hotness. That's the flip.
That's what's busting, dog. Like, that's what's busting.
One more. Are we risen, dude?
No cap?
But how is that when I want to go to this bar? Like, they're popping up at other 50 best bars, and I show up to this bar, and it's like, the first time I went to Double Chicken Please, I only got in because they just won, big award. And my friend got me in because he knew the Bacardi guy, and they were doing a collaboration with Handshake. So I didn't get to experience Double Chicken. I didn't really get to experience Handshake because they're traveling. It's not necessarily the best expression of their bar.
Right.
So I got kind of a mid, subpar, at least what I thought at the time, expression of both these places. And I'm like, well, that sucks. I flew to New York to go to the #1 bar in the world. Didn't get a good expression from that. I'm sure Handshake's amazing in Mexico. You went there, but but that wasn't my impression of it. I was like, oh, this is fine. Like, I guess. So these guest shifts there's a huge conversation about it. It's like, man, like, we do them because we want to build our exposure and stuff. But it's like, man, these guest shifts, like, I want to go to the bar and experience that bar. A guest shift used to be this like once every few months you bring in this bar, you get to experience
person.
Yeah.
Now, yeah.
A friend of mine in Austin opened up their bar. They've just been open. They haven't even been open a year yet. I think they've had like 20 guest shifts, like people coming in and them going out. And I'm like,
which I get it because it makes sense to get new customers in.
No, but they're playing the game though. But it's like, the guest shift thing is a huge topic and it's annoying. But anyway,
well, I love all that insight.
And forever.
So please go check out their pop-up spirit.n.soul on Instagram, and keep tuned. We'll be all at the next pop-up in Vegas for sure. So I hope you can make that. Jen, Joe, thank you so much. Kyler, thank you very much. Let's do this again sometime. I mean, come on. I have a lot of, there's going to be like round 2 for all these guys because we have to cut it short every time because over 90 minutes we start to lose people.
No, for sure. I mean, you could split us up and I'm sure you'd have 2 hours of shit to talk about with her and 2 hours of shit to talk about with me.
It's incredible, but you're an amazing team.
I could get you
Can
guys.
I add one more thing?
Please. Oh boy, as she scurries away.
For a second there, I was gonna grab a camera and like Maury chase her.
Oh, that'd have been so awesome. You should have prepared us for this.
It is your baby. No, I can't believe.
There's a bottle down there that I left. It's called Fernet Branca.
Oh.
It's a miso handshake.
Hell yeah.
No, it's.
I'm sorry, not miso.
Shot together.
I'm famously anti-Fernet.
Joe loves Fernet.
It's his favorite. I fucking love Fernet, dude.
I don't.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not.
If you just hate yourselves a little more.
This was my first ever bartending job. I jumped into a mixology bar and they were like, "We do bartender handshakes." I was like, "What does that mean?" So they come, they order Fernet.
The Birria. Yeah, we actually do need a glass. Shop it off.
The one thing that's not going to be good with consomme? Fucking Fernet.
I disagree. Fernet goes with every occasion, sir.
I've had too much Fernet in my young days. I've drank enough of it.
You're younger than me. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and I've had a lot more of it. Well, no, you were in San Francisco. You definitely had a lot of fucking.
I respect it. Most shocking statement of this whole thing, and no offense to my youthful, handsome friend over to my right. How is it possible? You look so young. That is so great.
Asian don't raisin. She full Asian. I'm half white. I half colonizer side.
Don't raise it.
I
love it.
My half colonizer side fucking took me out. They gave me 6 feet in height. They gave me fucking a receding hairline and wrinkly skin. It's fine.
Are you shit talking about yourself?
1,000%, dude. I keep it real.
Humble is the way.
100, as the kids say.
I like it.
Well, cheers, guys. Thanks for having us.
With this Birria consomme chaser for our Fernet. Oh, it's epic. Where's my chaser? Boom.
Fernet's not even low ABV. That's what I hate about it. Like other Amaros, at least they're low ABV. This is fucking still like 30.
I'm so thrilled.
Shut up and just take the shot.
Incredible.
Oh, that warms your soul.
Hey, it worked.
It does work. I think it works.
This will make you like Fernet.
It's hot.
Thank you so much, you two. This is